Been dragging the bottom for oh so long, but I can feel that power running strong. It's in the air, I can feel it now.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Happy 4th of July. Tomorrow should be a great day. Get to kick it off with a big, beautiful bill signing, which will be awesome. It's a pretty good Friday before the 4th of July weekend. I want to apologize for the late start. We were struggling with Facebook. It created a duplicate post, and when we started it, it went on one, and then the others, I had to delete it all, start all over again. You guys know the drill. It happens. We try to get it right, but Facebook is a real pain in the keister. Hope everyone's doing well. We got a jam-packed show tonight. Just me running solo. Olivia is off tonight, and Leroy is going to Cleveland with the family, so he's going to be busy. So we will try to get through the intros real fast. I do have a Chris Peranto intro that he just sent me. I have no idea what it is. I haven't edited it. I haven't done anything. So I don't know. I hope it's good. We're going to find out. We're going to skip the intro. We're going to get right into Wimkin, and then we'll get the show started. We'll be right back.
When you get a sec, check out my buddy Matthew Spear over there at the Dumb Show. Dumbshow.com. Get to see people like yours truly right here. Maybe that's a reason for you to not check it out. But check it out anyway. There's a lot of people better than me on there that a lot better stories. But check them out, dumbshow.com. Matt, take care, buddy. God bless you, everyone.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? That was actually pretty cool. JJ Cleveland says YouTube not working. YouTube should be working unless they ban me again. I don't know. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. It's good to have you guys here. Like I said, that wasn't English. I will be the only host tonight. Olivia is off and Leroy is also off, so it's good to see everybody. We've got a pretty good show for you tonight. A whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I want to thank Chris Peranto. That was a hell of an intro. I'll put some music to it and make it good. Frederick says the trolls are out in force. What do you mean? The trolls are out in force? Like where? Like there's a lot on YouTube and Facebook. They've been hitting me pretty hard. They're upset about the Thomas Massey video I did, because you can't say anything bad about Thomas Massey, but they can say whatever they want about Trump. But if you go ahead and support Trump, you're in a cult. So it makes a lot of sense. I didn't have a problem with Massey. I just got sick and tired of like the 14th time him backstabbing Trump. So I just got sick of it. And they're like, oh, well, just because he's a fiscal conservative. Well, the border, that's not a big deal. What was that? He was asking for $21 billion. Isn't that what he asked for to finish everything? Didn't he already have that? So it was just releasing the money because he reallocated it from the defense budget. What about USMCA? Replacing NAFTA from from Bill Clinton. He voted against that. What about some of the transgender legislation about drag shows and in the military that Massey went ahead and said conveniently, well, there were things in the bill he didn't like, so he went and turned that down as well. So, you know, you can talk about the political lawfare. You can talk about how he sat on his hands when Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert proposed to dismiss the impeachment findings against Donald Trump as political lawfare. He sat on his hands on that. So don't give me this crap that Thomas Massey he's just a libertarian. He's such a nice guy. He's a constitutionalist. No, he's not. He's an asshole. And that's okay for me to say. Rand Paul's an asshole. I happen to like Rand Paul. I happen to like Thomas Massey, except when he's an asshole. And here's what it comes down to. I don't like Trump when he's being an asshole. And that's what we do on this show is we call it out. And when I'm an asshole, my viewers say the same thing about me. And that's fine. We can all do that. We can say those things. Thomas Massey's being a baby. And isn't it funny how he went ahead and pushed the bill forward just like he did for Joe Biden when it was in committee, but then didn't vote for it? And that's fine. He doesn't have to vote for it. But don't play games. If you're the final vote, maybe this isn't the time to have a purity check. Maybe what you do is you weigh the good and the bad. Do you really want to increase taxes? I mean, as a constitutionalist, do you want to increase the taxes to 46% on Americans? Do you really want the largest tax hike in history? Well, as a constitutionalist, as a libertarian, that doesn't sound very Tea Party to me. That sounds pretty much like screw Boston Harbor to me. So Thomas Massey just needs to get his priorities straight. Decide which party you're in. Why you're a Republican baffles me. You should be a libertarian. That's who you are. So they're all pissed off. They're upset. They're mad. And who cares? If viewers agree with everything I say, then I'm not saying the right things. Because we should be challenging each other's thought process. But yeah, the meltdown is definitely owned by the left right now. They're going crazy. They can't stand it. But, be nice about donations, folks. I'm going to be handling them all, and it's going to be a challenge. Once again, I want to thank Chris Tanto Peranto for his video. We also have our new mic flags. You guys can see these. These are brand new. We got one for each station, and Olivia got hers. Looks kind of nice. See? So all the stations got their mic flags. So we're kind of excited about that. So I figured I'd let you know. Frederick says, I told the one from your short to call in tonight. Tyrone Sullivan was his name, I believe. Great. He should call in. They should all call in. Because the thing is that they're going to find is that I'm not a Trump sycophant. I'm not a sycophant of Trump's. I'm not. I went after Trump plenty. And when he was being an a-hole, and he really was, the last 3.5, 4 months of his first presidency. And then honestly, after like about 1.5 years going into 2021, 22, and I knew he was going to run again, I got kind of tired of his antics and games. I got tired of the trading cards and telling everyone like some huge news. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's going to announce his VP or he's going to announce a new policy. And then he's like, well, you could buy these brand new trading cards. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm sick of your shit. And how he just ripped apart everybody. And I got sick of it. But then he made a shift. And I recommended it, not saying he listened to me in any way, shape, or form. Bobby Richardson, a start of making up for nights I missed. Love you all. Thank you, Bobby. That's a very good start to the show. We certainly need it and appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. Very sweet of you. I still haven't forgotten that you sent me an Oregon Ducks flag, though. Ugh. But when Trump has made his mistakes, I've called it out. When he kept talking about stolen election, I'm like, dude, you're going into an election. You might want to stop the stolen election crap. You're going to literally suppress your own voters. And they listened. And there was some changes. When he got Lewandowski into his cabinet, his campaign, they went back to the Trump, which was all about the middle class, all about compromise, all about reaching across the aisle if that's what's needed, kind of distance themselves from Project 2025 or whatever the hell it was. I completely have forgotten what that is now because I just don't care about it. And out of like the 900 pages of Project whatever, there's like 14 things that Trump is doing. And they're like, see, we told you. I'm like, right. When you make enough predictions, trust me, some of them are going to come true. So yeah, I mean, the big beautiful bill passed without Thomas Massey's help, with Republicans truly standing shoulder to shoulder. Now we give them a hard time. We call them the Uniparty. We call them the neocons. We call them the fraternity. And maybe they are. But today we got it done. And here's the other thing. For all the people who literally talk shit about Mike Johnson, I think you owe him an apology. Without Mike Johnson, this doesn't get done today. Mike Johnson just held the vote. He's like, you know what? No, I'm going to hold it. And the Democrats were booing and pissed off. And they're like, well, we voted. It's over. No, it's not. He's holding it. Speaker controls the gavel. He had members that weren't there. They had conversations they need to have. The same thing happened when they did elected a speaker. The same thing happened for Biden's unbelievable Inflation Reduction Act, which basically put the United States on its ear. So no, they did the same thing. They traded ponies. And if you remember what they did, they leaned on West Virginia Senator. They leaned on Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and they got them to teeter-totter and ultimately flip. Nobody said anything. Republicans like, this is the way the game's played. Did the Republicans trade ponies? Sure they did. Did they threaten people? Of course they did. Did Trump call Massey and basically say, dude, I'm going to primary your ass and I'm going to put it'll be my life's mission to ensure that you don't win Kentucky? Sure. And by the way, folks, Massey's numbers in primary hypothetical right now are really in the tank. The support for Massey is softening big time because people are waking up and realize that he's not pro-Constitution, that he's not pro-small government. He's not conservative. He is anti-Trump. He's a never-Trumper. Don't you remember when he was fundraising on Trump in 2022 and talking shit about Trump? Showed you those videos. Listen, it's not that I don't like Massey. I don't like fake people. All he has to do is come out and say, I will never vote for Donald Trump's bills ever. I think they're a complete waste. I think they're horrible for the economy. And you can count me out. I'm not voting. I'm not going to vote against because it's my party. I'm not going to vote for. I'm just going to simply not be present. And you know what I would do? I would respect that. But instead, what did he do? He forwarded the vote late last night. He jumped on board. Then he jumped back off again. So I'm not going to sit here and defend Thomas Massey. I'm glad that his liberty score and purity score is like, 98%. That's awesome. Good for him. But you know what? Purity score doesn't get real rubber meets the road legislation done. Purity score is an honor badge. It's something you put on your backpack. And it gives you a little lapel pin. But when it really comes down to the rubber meets the road, this bill, although has some risk to it, I don't like omnibus bills. I didn't like them under Biden. I didn't like them when they forced it on Trump in 2016. I don't like omnibus bills. I like single issue bills. But you know what? That's the way it is. I would love to eat ribeye and capers and a baked potato and a salad with blue cheese every night, but unfortunately, I don't want to have a heart attack in 2 years. You just don't get everything you want. Now, does this bill address a lot of things? Well, the only two things I care about is the debt ceiling, so we don't have to go groveling to Congress for money every single year and do a stupid lockdown bullshit 72-hour whack-a-thon where we literally waste our time and have to watch the Democrats literally just put on performative just theater and talk about, Republicans are going to lock down the government. They don't care about veterans. They don't care about our state parks. They don't care about, Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. And Yogi Bear and Boo Boo are going to die. They're going to die. They're going to die because they don't have honey. Donald Trump is going to take away the honey from the bears. All the bears are going to die. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I want? I want the cap taken off. So if something is needed, that it's in the budget, that it's anticipated, that the budget is funded, that way we're accountable. If you want to balance a budget, you have to write a budget, then you have to spend the money, and you've got to get approval for the money. But what happens is that they put this debt ceiling cap on there. They overspend. They spend it in like by June or July. And we've got to figure out how we're going to go ahead and fund the next 6 months of government. And God forbid if there's an election coming up, because that's even worse. It's the same song and dance. And Trump is like, forget this. I'm not going to have handcuffs around me where if I need to make a move, if I need to fund something in order to stimulate an area of the economy or infrastructure or whatever it would be, or if there's a fire in California and God forbid Gavin Newsom actually says the right thing, like please and thank you, then good. He has it. But you can't constantly put handcuffs on the president of the United States and have him go back to a Congress which isn't willing to work with him. Because after 2026, if that's it, it's over. His presidency is done. His presidency doesn't get any more support financially from the House. Because if they take the House, all they're going to be doing is trying to impeach him the whole time and doing inquiries and doing subpoenas. They're not going to listen to any legislation that he has. They're not going to push any of his initiatives forward. So he got them all done. I mean, what didn't he get? Now, he didn't get complete no tax on tips. He didn't get no tax on Social Security completely. There were things taken out, funding of Planned Parenthood, which essentially was, I believe, a 1-year hiatus on funding them. And they're like, well, the federal government doesn't fund Planned Parenthood. You're right, they don't. But what happens is Planned Parenthood spends that money anyway and uses the state's money and then reimburses themselves on the federal dollars to fill the loophole. That's still, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. The same thing happens with the hospitals when they give illegals coverage under Medicaid and Medicare. And the same way they do that, they use state dollars to go ahead and do that. And then they go ahead and they take the federal coffers and bleed them dry and reimburse themselves. It's the same fucking thing. They go around the law. And everybody knows they do this. But nobody says anything. Oh, well, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. Because if you were going to take 1.4 million illegals off of Medicare and Medicaid and they weren't cheating the system, then why do you fucking care? Oh, the hospitals are going to go bankrupt. Well, if they're going to go bankrupt, there's a reason. It's because they're not getting the money. So they are doing it. They're just doing it in a way that's not illegal because they've cooked the books. Give me a break. It's all performative theater. It's all a joke. All of this. Tim Pool said it best today. Tim Pool's like, listen, I don't think Congress is real. If they were and they make the rules, then the parliamentarian would just have been fired, right? I mean, they run the Senate floor. He's got the gavel. They can just remove the Senate parliamentarian and say, screw you. But see, that's not the way the Constitution works. But they only choose to follow the Constitution when it benefits them. They love the filibuster when they're in office. Or when they're not in office, they love the filibuster. They hate it when they have to legislate. They love Citizens United when they're in office and they're in a re-election term, but they hate it when they're off term. These things are so contrived and stupid. So to the Thomas Massey people who are all pissed at me on YouTube, which is really no big deal because I've got like 1,700 followers on YouTube and nobody watches my videos over there anyway. Because I couldn't get a positive hit on YouTube if I went and stooped google.com myself, went into that office and blew every single intern in that place. I still couldn't get ranked on YouTube. It's the way it is. And I don't care because I haven't made $1 on YouTube my entire life. And I never will. Because I don't know if you guys don't know this, but conservatives don't do very well on YouTube. That's why they all go to Rumble. That's why they go to TikTok. That's why they go, and TikTok is tough too. That's why they go to Wimkin. By the way, go to wimkin.com. If you have not had a chance, go to tophitmaker.org. Amy Stancombe just put the link. And this is for Stillpoint, who is currently in second. They need a lot of help. If you have not voted, please go and vote. Go and support Nick and Maddie and make sure that they are, and Brandon, and make sure they're taken care of. They're good friends. I don't know the new basis, so it's Nick, Matt, and Brandon. It always will be to me. But go and vote for them, please. Take care of them. This is a huge win for them if they get it. They're currently in second for the next round. Tonight's the last night. If you don't do it tonight, they're in trouble. So please do me that favor. Go over and vote. And then also, if you guys have a chance, please donate to the show. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot to do. That's a good enough opening. Nick says, we're in a safe spot. We'll be in a wild card battle this weekend if we end in second tonight. And I know we'll crush votes this weekend if that happens because every one of you kick ass. Yeah, help them out. Help them out. Get them rocking and rolling. Did you guys think that was a good video by Tonto? I thought that was great. When we put some music to it, put some still point to it, and give it some soul. So if you have not been paying attention, the big, beautiful bill has officially passed. And man, was it a struggle. But if you remember 3 days ago that I told you that the predictive analysis, the same people who predict what the budget will do and what this bill will do, put us in a deficit, in a spiral, death spiral. It's going to throw us off the fiscal cliff. Yeah, because the $9 trillion from Biden wouldn't, but this will. The same people had the predictive indicators that somehow this jobs report was going to be negative 33,000. And that unemployment was going to be stagnant or increase slightly. That was what they said. Now, Donald Trump and team said, what we'll see. Let's just hang tight. We don't know. Let's find out. And the jobs report came out, and not only were negative in federal jobs because they lost federal jobs. So the Democrats are like, he's cheating. He's cheating. He's fudging the numbers. Well, he can't fudge the numbers of the private sector. He can't fudge the numbers of the state. He can fudge the federal numbers, and the federal numbers were in the negative, you retards. Oh, well, Donald Trump's cheating. He has to be cheating. Why? Because Joe Biden cheated for a year. Therefore, Donald Trump has to be cheating too. Isn't that cute? He can fudge the federal numbers. He can't fudge the state numbers. And he reported a negative. What happened? 70,000 jobs were created in the states. So you know what that means? All those people he fired, all those people that relocated, got picked up by the state, which is what they should do. If you want to increase the size of government, you increase the state. You don't increase the federal government. The federal government is a bureaucracy. The smallest size of our government would be the best. The smaller we can go, the more streamlined we can go, where states are interdependent on each other and not the federal government. That's what you want. That's what being a conservative is, and not a libertarian like Thomas Massey, who just wants to go ahead and fundraise off of hating Trump, which he raised $100,000 with an average donation of over $900. Those aren't Kentuckians. And this is the guy 96 hours ago who bragged and said, hey, I'm a state locally funded small donation guy, as the big fat cats come in like Elon Musk and his friends and go ahead and donate to Massey's campaign ad nauseum. He took that money and ran. Not so much a state-funded Kentuckian now, is he? So yeah, jobs report came out. Guess what? They were wrong. Again. Trump, listen, literally, if water was winning, Trump would be just falling out of a boat in perpetuity. The guy can't miss. I mean, literally can't miss. 2 hands tied behind his back, 1 leg tied behind his back, blindfolded, and this guy still throws strikes. It doesn't matter what you do. This guy can't lose. Here's a video of CNN saying the exact same thing, and they're sitting here going, what? What? How's this possible? How is Donald Trump winning all the damn time? I'll tell you how. It's his policies. He doesn't screw around. He deregulates. He invests. I told you, investing into energy is the best thing that he could have done because it trickles throughout all businesses in the United States. Amy Bordeaux, $10.80. Thank you, Amy. People believe him. The world powers listen to him. I'm going to show you a clip of what Putin did today. Putin was in the middle of a seminar on stage as the keynote speaker. Donald Trump called. He got up. Didn't want to upset Donald Trump. Didn't want to make him wait. So Putin got up and answered the phone. Yeah, Putin's puppet. You fucking kid. It sounds like somebody's hands up somebody's ass, but it doesn't sound like it's up Donald Trump's. Can you imagine? Oh, Vladdy's calling. I got to get up. No, he wouldn't do that. Hi, Mallory. How you doing, Mallory? Good to see you back. I thought you were mad last night. I was like, don't be mad. I figured they fudged the jobs report. Well, I'm, but once again, how? How do you fudge states reporting? How do you fudge private industry reporting, corporations reporting? My allergies are killing me. So anyway, let's watch this video.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
Yeah, Sarah, it is. Look, this jobs market is like the Energizer Bunny. Every single time we expect it to run out of steam, it just keeps going and going. So these new numbers show that the U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy.
God, thank God for Joe Biden, huh? Thank God that Donald Trump inherited Joe Biden's economy, or this wouldn't have been possible. Remember Joe Biden's last few months? Literally, jobs reports were in the negative. He fudged the numbers. He lied for over a year. For over a year.
The number, this is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected.
You expect.
Wow, it's almost like you guys are in pain when you're saying these things. Listen, it's not hard to tell the truth. Mike Johnson said it best today. Mike Johnson did a great job. Listen, I think everyone's been way too hard on Johnson. I like the guy. Sure, he's a little magoo, but he gets everybody in shape. Loretta says, Massey started by running in our town to be judge executive. We voted him in with his good ideas. He left us to run for Congress. He only stayed about 2 months only. We are a very poor county. Yeah. Why doesn't Trump fire the Fed guy? Because that's not within Trump's purview, according to precedent. The Fed is supposed to be completely autonomous from the administration, and he could, but it would be nasty. It's just like firing the parliamentarian. There's just things you don't do. You know what I mean? So after an 8.5 hour and I kid you not, $1.35 million. You take $86 per congressperson. You times that by 427, I think is what it's at. You then go ahead and you take the minutes recorder. You take the interns and the support staff and paralegals. And each one of those senators have a grip of them in the balcony. You take the master at arms and you take the Capitol Police on duty. And you add up all of those people. And they were spending like $120,000 an hour plus. Ash, do you want in? Hey, Ash. I guess not. So they spent like $1.3 million on Hakeem Jeffries up there just yapping his gums. just yapping his gums. So hold on. Just get in here. Stop screwing around. Let's go. Jeez, Cat. Yeah, meow to you too, Cat. Mom's not in here. Go find her. So here is Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson takes the podium. This was classic. It was classic. Quintessential Mike Johnson trolling with a sheepish Cheshire cat grin. Says the following after Hakeem Jeffries, who wouldn't shut up, who just literally went up there and blah, 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 just like completely just vomited all over the lectern. Mike Johnson comes in and says the following. This is beautiful. Watch this.
You know, Ronald Reagan said one time that no speech should be longer than 20 minutes, and unlike the Democrat leader, I'm going to honor my colleagues' time and be a little more brief than that, all right? I just want to say something that many of us learned when we were children. We were taught, you know, it takes a lot longer to build a lie than to tell the simple truth.
Mike Johnson wasn't having any of it. Super chat. You got a super chat from Vicky, $1.99. Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate you doing that. So that was the beginning. And there has been so many other things that have taken place. But Hakeem Jeffries for 8 hours, just complete lunacy. Absolute complete lunacy. You've also got the Vladimir Putin clip, which I'll show you in a second. Don't let me forget. Jamie Raskin goes up there and decides to glad hand, because nothing like do-rag Raskin to go ahead and put it all into perspective for us, because he's such an honorable human being, just such a nice man. Here it is.
Hey, you guys, it's Jamie Raskin coming to you from the Rape Room right across from...
Wait a second. Did he just say the rape room?
The House Chamber. And you guys, it's Jamie Raskin coming to you from the Rape Room right across...
The rapier room. No, it's the Rayburn room. I'm just teasing. The rape room. Is that where that intern took it up the keister that you guys had the gay sex in with Joe Biden as president? Or was that the one that cut off their boobs and flashed the camera? Or the guy with fake boobs who flashed the camera on the White House lawn? Is that, no, not the same people? Okay.
Across from the House Chamber. And Hakeem Jeffries, our great minority leader, is on the floor, and he has just been absolutely railing against MAGA and Donald Trump and dismantling
dismantling
big ugly bill.
Yeah, big ugly bill. Dismantling. It's the big ugly bill's dismantled. I don't know what we're going to do. God, it's almost like it's going to be on Donald Trump's desk tomorrow, and he's not going to sign it because it's so dismantled. I wonder when they get it, are they going to have fingerprints all over it? Like, is it going to smell like patchouli and organic chocolate? Is that what's going to... Non-GMO, non-gluten, sugar-free, hormonal-free chocolate? Is that what's going to happen? It's just dismantled. Got dismantled in the rapey room.
Dozens and dozens of letters that have been sent.
Dozens of letters. Dozens. No. Dozens of people are outraged over... We are killing trees, folks, by the dozens. Update. I'm sorry. We have dozens of letters. We actually, a small sapling worth of letters. But it's still a tree, folks, and you know how we love our trees. We love to hug our trees. Am I that loud?
Oh, no. I have to turn the kitchen light on because I'm making the 4th of July cake.
You're making the 4th of July cake. Good. I'll have some tonight.
From people who are facing losing.
Then I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah, I like your hat.
Thank you. I like you.
their health care, losing their Medicaid coverage, losing their ACA coverage. He's been reading letters from farmers. He's been reading letters from immigrants. He is making it very vivid, very human, and very concrete.
Was it illegal letters from immigrants, or because immigrants really aren't the people you have a problem with? It's illegals that you have issue with, right? Because we don't care about immigrants. We don't care about people who get here legally. We only care about the ones that are illegal. Raskin always seems to forget about that. Just like, we're going to cut Medicare for 17 million freeloaders. Yes, freeloaders is the word. You know, your voting base. I love how you talk about that it's Republicans. Yes, there's no doubt there are more people on government subsidies in red counties. Yes, we are aware. We don't have metropolises of businesses. We don't have a plethora of jobs. Usually in a small town, it's small jobs that you can do, and usually it's mom and pop locations. A lot of people volunteer. We're aware. We know. We've been through tough times before, Raskin. Not literally a stint with cancer where we wore a do-rag and milked it for all it's worth. Not that I'm not happy that you don't have cancer. I'm just saying, bro, you're a man. You're already bald. Just shave it. Just my nephew just went through cancer. He didn't put on a fucking do-rag. He was a man about it, and he lost a testicle, for God's sakes. You don't have any testicles. You could have handled it a little bit better. You just milked it for all it was worth, bro. You really did. And you know what? That's fine. I mean, God forbid I get it. I'll probably come on here with a rag. I'll probably put on a prosthetic nose, and I'll probably just try to be Jamie Raskin and grift even harder for my money. Speaking of money, folks, just kidding.
What the repercussions of this terrible bill are going to be. They're cutting more than $1 trillion out of Medicaid. They're going to throw 17 million people off of their health care. They're going to be reducing.
Let me ask you a question. You know what's funny? If you guys want to know the true count on illegals, you know how people are like, it's between 14 and 20 million? Democrats have told you it's 17 million. They've been telling you all week. There you go. Oh, well, Matt, wait a second. Illegals can't get on Medicare and Medicaid. I've already explained how they can. Donating, Vicky, $10. Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate you. But if you want to know the true number, there it is. There it is.
Nutrition money, SNAP benefits for tens of millions of people. They are driving clean energy and renewable energy systems into a ditch, and all of it is going to cost the American people almost incalculable sums.
Your lives! NTM, it's a twister, it's a twister. Mayday, mayday. Awooga, awooga, dive, dive. It's all over, folks. Nothing we can do about it. Turn the lights off, go home. Screw it. If we only had a bobby pin. I've got a bobby pin. What's a man doing with a bobby pin?
Of money. They're talking about a $4 trillion addition to the American debt. Why? All to hand off huge tax breaks to the richest people
that's it.
In America. But anyway,
yeah, not you. Not the middle class. No, not from the largest drop off. See, do you want to know how they're lying? Besides that their mouths are open and it's Jamie fucking Raskin. This is how you know. Yes, hard member says fucking rat skin. It's pretty close. I don't like maligning people with vermin. That's a little too Nazi 1938-40 Germany for me, but in this case, I'm completely open to it. But do you want to know how they're lying? It's really simple. Because when Donald Trump put his tax cuts forward in 2017, Democrats railed against it. But you want to know what they did in 2022? They extended the tax cuts. That's why they're expiring now. They should have expired under Biden's term, but they extended them. Why? Well, because they were good things. But they mainly wanted to ensure that a Republican got hit right in the frickin' patootie with it. And they circumnavigated it. The two things that need to happen in this bill, the debt ceiling needs to go up, and the fucking tax increase that was about to hit Americans would have absolutely decimated this economy. That's why they wanted it to go through. They wanted to go through so it looks bad during midterms. They wanted to go through so it looks bad during 2028. Donald Trump is not stupid. He learned in 2016. In 17, when he actually took office on the first day and he came in, he had to sign the omnibus bill. And in order to get the defense spending that he wanted to redo our nuclear deterrence, there was so much pork in there that he learned a lesson. That bill was like, what, $1.9 trillion? And Trump took it in the shorts, and he learned a valuable lesson. In order to get what he wanted, he had to get hit by the Democrats. He's not going to let him do it again. So why are the Democrats pushing forward? By the way, folks, if you have not had a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. Rumble, Wimkin. Listen, Wimkin people, I love you guys. I care about you. I go and check the comments. Can you guys just hit the like button on the videos? I mean, I got plenty of views, 200-300 views on some of these things. Nobody likes the video. Just hit the like button, please. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble. Help a brother out, man. If you can't donate, at least just throw a brother a like. Shit. Comment say I can't hang no anyhow. It's 2 airplane references in like a matter of 5 minutes that nobody has picked up on. What part of the bill gave tax break to the richest? I'll wait. Isn't it interesting that they consider the richest anybody that makes over $1 million? Proportionately, if you make $1 million and someone makes 50, oops, I can't see that. Joanne Townsend, $10.80. Have a safe 4th, everyone. Thank you, Joanne. That's very sweet of you. If you have a person that makes $1 million, they're supposed to make something like, I don't know, $45,000 back more or $8,000 more. I don't know what it is, but it's a number and it's a good number. And then someone who makes $50,000 a year is supposed to make like 98 cents a day back in their tax. It's $365 less. If you're making $50,000 a year, how much are you really paying in taxes if you're claiming the right number? You're getting money back if you're claiming the right number. Now, if you have a poodle and a goldfish and you're claiming 6, you're screwed. But if you're claiming the right deductions, $365 back in your pocket on a $50,000 salary, you're probably going to make $1,700 to $2,400, $2,500 back, depending upon your deduction. Roughly. $365. That's not bad. It's not bad. It's like 14%. I'm sorry you don't get $90,000 back on your $50,000 salary. I'm really sorry about that. You can do that. It's called socialism. Try it out. It's never been tried before, and I'm sure that'll work. Oh, Raskin. I can't believe I got to listen to this guy for another 45 seconds. Holy Lord.
Please check out Hakeem Jeffries on the floor. He's got the right to a so-called magic minute, which means he can get up and speak for a minute, but it can go for as long as he wants. And he's saying he's going to take his sweet time to tell the story of what this bill would do to America and all of the wreckage that we would suffer. So you can check it out on C-SPAN, I think MSNBC, CNN.
Fox News? No?
You can go
OAN?
to
Newsmax?
the different congressional stations, but you can find it. Check out Hakeem Jeffries' very impassioned and eloquent statement.
Listen, Obama was probably one of the greatest orators of our time outside of like Kennedy and Churchill. No. Hakeem Jeffries, I'm not trying to be rude. I really am not, but he sounds like a ghetto shoe salesman to me. Oh, would you like a little shoe polish with them shoes? I can get you those lifts in $9.99. Give you a little bit of polish with my rag. It's a vanilla rag. It's very nice. High buff shine in them leather shoes, mister. Would you like that? Sorry. It's not racism. It's just called humor. And that's the way Hakeem Jeffries talks. And it literally is a soup sandwich. How about a fresh, nice nickel shoehorn? Want a nice nickel shoehorn? You can have one. I got it for you here, sir.
he's making right now. We were here at, I think, 5 or 5:30.
Oh, wow. You were here at 5 and 5:30. Big deal. Americans are up a lot earlier than that. You know, these guys are like, oh, we had to be here all night. Welcome to people who are police officers. Welcome to people who, to restock grocery stores. Welcome to people who are on security, like our good friend Nick Younger, who does security and does overnights. Welcome to people who are on gold watch and blue watches all the time in Intel. Yeah, you guys are babies. You're just fucking babies. We worked really hard. Like, we had to work like 67% of the year this year. I mean, this is, what's wrong with people? We need another increase. Can we vote on that? Can we vote an increase? Because you guys have never turned down a pay increase. Never. That always makes it into the bill, doesn't it? Every time we fund the government, let's put a pay increase for us. Why? Because we did a good job. Yeah, fucking, here we go. Good job. What do we do for the people? Fuck them. Just give us more money. We deserve it. Paramedic, whatever. Paramedics too. Would you like to hear the story of my grandfather? Nurses, doctors, hell, even lawyers work hard. Not all of them. Hell, I put in 16-hour days. I work my butt off. Tim Pool, man, there's one thing about Tim I will say, is that if I'm ever on his show, you are the hardest working mother humper in this business. And he is. That guy is incredible. Like, I don't know how he, I literally have to take a shower in the middle of the day, half the shit that I read. And I'm just like, oh God, I can't read anymore. I've got to go bathe. This is bad. 1958. Do we need our break now? No, I'm going to stay on a little bit. Loretta says, my STAT benefits are $50 a month. My RRR is $1,029 a month. I have to make it last all month without frills or other things. I know. And honestly, Loretta, I feel for you tremendously, but you're not a freeloader. You need it. And that's specifically what Republicans have said, is like, we don't give a shit about the people who need it. We understand that these things are a necessity. We just want the people who are able-bodied, who are not showing up for their physicals, who have been proven to be able to work, and they're not. Those people need to start working. And most of them only need to work part-time. That's all they're saying. We'll do a break in a second. Mothers. Yes, mothers. Is Matt running solo tonight? Yes. Leroy is in Cleveland. He left. I don't know when he's coming back. Olivia was going to be on the show, and honestly, it's just, I'll run solo. So yeah, I'm running solo tonight. Solo nights are fun. We usually have a high amount of people on, and donations are usually great. So get busy. We'll take a break in a second. I keep getting asked the question, did you vote for this? The answer is yes. No matter what the question is prefacing, yes is the answer. Yes, I voted. Did you vote for? Yes. Did you vote for Donald Trump to take taxes off silencers? Yes, I did. Yes, because I've been waiting to buy a silencer and I didn't want to pay an extra $500. So yes, I am 100% buying a silencer, suppressor. There's no such thing as a silencer. That's bullshit. But yes, I'm going to buy a suppressor for my AR. I'm going to buy a suppressor for my home defense handgun. You damn skippy I am. Chuck Peterson says, hi, Dumb Nation. Sorry I'm late. Had to buy $220 in fireworks. Holy shit. Can I be a socialist and redistribute about 10% of that to the Don't Unfriend Me show? Patricia says, I'm almost 70 and working some days 12 hours a day just to keep my head above water. Patricia, you know what? I wish it wasn't unfair. You know what I mean? Because I believe that the elderly should not have to pay a dime on Social Security. I think at a certain age, you should be done paying taxes. Like, I don't have to pay another dime into Social Security. I'm capped for the rest of my life. And working at Apple and Comcast, I was very fortunate to make good money. And I've paid my Social Security through and through. I'm capped. I can't go any higher. I can't go any lower unless they make an adjustment. This is the U.S. government, so I'm sure, but I'm maxed. But yes, in the bill, the NFA items, they took the tax off, yes. So life is not fair sometimes, and people who are elderly need to be taken care of. They shouldn't have to pay taxes on their property. They shouldn't have to register their vehicles 700 times. They shouldn't have to go get new driver's licenses. There's just a time in life where it's like you graduated, okay? You have done the mundane shit long enough. Now you get to live a little bit. I wish. And I don't think Trump's going to be able to fix everything. But I think what Trump is going to do is he's going to make sure that our retirement and the cost of living coincide with each other where we're not having to give up one for another. I do believe Karen Eschenbach says, instead of buying fireworks this year, why not buy 2 bags of dog cat food for an animal shelter or rescue organization, or donate it to the Don't Unfriend Me show? I think that's Karen spelled that wrong. Let me make sure. Yeah, I read it wrong. No. Yeah, I read it wrong. It says, instead of buying fireworks this year, why not go ahead and donate that money to the Don't Unfriend Me show? And then to make yourself even happier, go get a dog or cat. That's what she said. Sounds great. So it just comes down to this. The elderly are some of the most resilient people on the earth. I love them dearly. I love my fans. And you are all going to be okay. Please don't buy into this fear. You will be okay. You're going to survive. Because I believe we are going to be better off 3.5 years from now than we are now. I truly believe that. I believe from an energy perspective. I believe that from a policy perspective, from crime. Karen Eschenbach says, oh, Keith Baker donated $51.99. Thank you, Keith. It's been a while. How are you, Keith? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the donation. $187.07. 187. We got to fix that. 187.007. No, that's not good. We got to take that out of there. Boom Boom's hurt and kill animals. What she really means is Boom Boom means donate, and animals, I don't know what, I don't have anything. I thought I did. I don't. But did I vote for this? First of all, this, Chuck Peterson says they don't light as well. That's funny. Light them on the tail. See, Karen, I don't agree with that. Don't get mad. I love my animals. I just thought that was funny what Chuck said. Listen, is this heartfelt? Kinda. First of all, I would never put my family in a position to be deported. Well, yeah, Mallory, that's not a bad idea. I mean, if you have a church and you guys are, I mean, just one collection from a Sunday could literally help people for a year. I agree with you. The church should do it too. It's God forbid, but listen, I might be heading to church. I think I'm this close. Frank Wood donated $51.99. Thank you for what you do. Love you guys. Love you too, Frankie. I'm this close to getting dressed up on Sunday. I need more guidance. I need a little bit more direction. I've got to work on my temper and frustration level. Sandra Casey says, I was still working 2 jobs at 65 to my first heart attack. I tried to get help on food stamps before I got the second job and made $20 too much to go figure. I didn't take a day off work 9 years. That's why I'm in shape I'm in now, where with my help from the government. Jeez. Thomas H. Heaney, new to the show, says, as much as I love Trump, it drives me crazy when he continues to call us a democracy. When the men of 1776 left Independence Hall with a constitutional republic, can we please talk about that? Sure, yeah, because I've done it a million times. But yeah, Thomas, I'll talk about it again. By the way, I love the picture behind you. We are a constitutional republic. However, we have a provisional democracy based on our electoral system and a representative government. So we are a constitutional republic with an elective representative government, which does fall under democratic processes. So it would have been a lot longer of a conversation coming out of Independence Hall when Ben Franklin said, a republic, sir, if you can keep it. A republic, sir, with a with a minor in elected representative government based upon an electoral system of the collegiate level of accumulating states based upon population have an equal vote. And those will be in the 50s times deuce. And then we will have 400 and blah, blah, blah. Come on. So I don't like calling it a democracy, but I don't get my ass chapped when people call it a democracy. I try to call it a republic in my show, but there's times where I call it a democracy. It doesn't matter. Democratic rule is mob rule. Essentially, it is a 50+1 where the largest group wins, and it focuses on collectivism and the collective rights. A republic is a series of laws that focuses on the individual rights, and as the individual rights are recognized, the collective will, all boats rise in high tide. That's the difference between a republic and a democracy. You can say it all you want, but we have both. But this is the interesting thing. When you look at our senatorial races, Sandra Edwards donated 1080. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate you. Good to see you. When you take a look at the Senate races and the way the Senate's divided up, that's representation based on the population of the state, where each get 2. And that would be more of a republic. But when you take a look at the House and Congress, that's more of a democracy. It's based upon the population of people to be represented by an elected body. And this also happens in the gubernatorial and the mayoral races and city council and sheriff and dog catcher and whatever else. And really the only difference between that and the presidential race in Congress is it's based on the Electoral College, which honestly is based on population. It's just a fancy way of essentially breaking it down to the lowest common denominator, make it easy and consumable for people to understand. So I'm with you. I don't want to call it a straight up just a republic, and I don't want to call it straight up just a democracy, because it's both. And that's the great thing about our founding fathers. The founding fathers didn't just equate the republic and the democracy. Got another one. Joanne Lutman for the BBB coverage, $10. Oh, you're going to love the rest of the show. We got more to do. Thank you so much. But they looked at egalitarian viewpoints. They looked at theocracies, monarchs. They look at single branch governments, multi-branch governments. They looked at the Greeks. They looked at the Romans. So the founding fathers were extremely intelligent, extremely well-versed. And really, the Federalists and Anti-Federalists, and for people to say that two-party systems can't work, well, that's what we had. We've always had a two-party system. And yes, there was the Bull Moose Party, and yes, we've had reform parties, and we've had the break off of the Tea Party, and we get all that. But it truly started with the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, which were the people who wanted big government, and the people who wanted limited government. And there was a compromise that was made. The House was very robust and large, and the Senate was very small and confined and based upon each state gets equal representation. The executive branch was fairly streamlined. The courts were a hit and miss. Some wanted courts, some didn't. So they broke the courts up very much like they broke up the bicameral legislature and the Congress, which is to have multiple layers of districts, appellate courts, and federal courts, state courts, to go ahead and interpret the law on individual basis based upon the origination of the decision, or of the blank versus blank. So we're not a democracy. We're not a republic. We're a constitutional republic that has democratic principles, especially in our election system, but also of our representation into it. But we are a nation of laws, and we covet, because of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence, the 3 most important documents in our lives. A lot of people say the Bible is, maybe for your soul. But while you're on terra firma, you need guidance and all of that. But it doesn't matter if the government throws you in a cage and you don't have a chance to read that Bible. So the rights, liberty, pursuit of happiness that we have is not just God-given rights, but these are natural rights. And those natural rights are defined and not given to us by the Constitution, not given us to us by the government. They are inherent in all men. We are all free. We are all entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not guaranteed happiness. The life and the pursuit is guaranteed. The happiness is up to you. So there you go. Laura Loomer. I don't cover Laura Loomer. She's full of shit. As much as you already read that. But tell me what the story is and maybe I'll talk about it. Our founding fathers never thought of career politicians. No, I mean, they didn't. They would send tobacco farmers or a local constable or a shoemaker or blacksmith to represent the town's grievances. And petitions would be claimed into the government and they would be heard and then they would leave and they wouldn't come back. Once we started paying them and once we started seeing, money enter politics and political action committees and fundraisers and advertising, but it was always contentious. Just because it wasn't mass printed in the New York Post doesn't mean that Burr and Hamilton didn't have posters insulting each other and taking after each other's mothers. I mean, this shit was vile. Politics has always been a burly and aggressive sport. Everyone thinks, it was so much better in the day. Pistols at dawn? No, I don't think so. Can you imagine Jamie Raskin and Mitch McConnell trying to off each other with a single shot? You think about Hakeem Jeffries taking a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hour 127, year 413 years ago. Jamie Raskin fired the first shot at Mitch McConnell, killing Nancy Pelosi. Jamie Raskin shot back as Donald Trump was in Butler, Pennsylvania, grazing his left toe. Donald Trump was in a wheelchair at the time, and he's going to be okay. Bobby Richardson donated $103.48 to help Matt recover from the duck flag. Oh, Bobby, I love you. So good to have you home. Thanks for being here. We love you. You broke up my voices. As Mitch McConnell returned fire after reloading his musket after 47 unsuccessful attempts, he fired one round at Raskin, and AOC was in California at the time, and she almost died. She thought she was going to get raped by the musket. We're not quite sure how, because she was 3,100 miles away at the time, but we just have to take her for her word, considering that she was the 67th president of the United States of America. Holy shit. Andrew Jackson was famous challenging others to duel. Yeah. There are refs to the Federalist Papers. How are these applied in U.S. constitutional law, and are they legal in constitutional challenge? No, but they're used as preface. They're not considered precedent, but when you were trying to interpret the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, the do-good letters, the Articles of Confederation, all the writings that were done during that time are taken into account. Personal libraries and notes, personal journals are all taken into account. And these are the historical documents that are referenced. And you'll see this from Supreme Court. Supreme Court will reference the Federalist Papers all the time. They'll go into the Monroe Doctrine. And actually, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, there's shit that they pull from, not just case law, but personal writings of our founding fathers. Nobody liked my dueling impersonation. Fine. I got to watch this video. This video is a little heartfelt. It's a little sad, but you're a criminal, and I'm sorry. You shouldn't have put your family in jeopardy. See if you guys feel the same.
No, y'all gotta stay. Y'all gotta stay. Come on, sir. No, you all gotta stay.
No.
Sir, come on.
No.
Sir,
todos.
let's go.
Todos.
Sir.
Todos nos vamos.
We're not doing this.
Todos nos vamos.
We're not doing this.
All right. Family,
Todos
family.
nos vamos.
No. Family,
Todos somos. Todos.
Family.
Todos.
Family.
No somos delincuentes, no somos nada. Todos nos vamos.
Have a little
No hay
discretion.
ningún problema.
I think this would be a really discretionary moment
This seems like
where
a
you can
moment for
let them
discretion,
go.
right?
If there's
No entiendo
small
por qué lo están
children.
haciendo, pero todos somos familia y nos vamos todos.
It seems like a moment for discretion. Was that at the same moment that somebody came in, literally broke into our country, stole from the American people, didn't even learn our language? Does that require discretion? I'm sorry. This sucks. And I don't know the backstory. What I do know is that you're being deported. And your family is more than welcome to go with you. And I think it sucks that you're doing it in front of the kids. You probably shouldn't have went to a deportation hearing. You probably shouldn't have broken the law and brought your children with you. I don't, when I first watched this, I was like, as a father, this would suck. But as a father, I'd never put my kids in this situation. Oh, yeah, Matt. Well, when you go over to Germany, it's not going to happen. Oh, Matt, well, when someone comes in and takes over this country and tries to deport you, well, I'm going to die fighting. I'm not letting someone take over this country. I'll be that old guy. You son of a bitch, get off my lawn. I swear to God, you Jap son of a bitch.
Si lo van a deportar, todos.
Entonces ahora no va para con eso.
Sí, tengo que mostrarlo porque yo no soy. Ok, está bien, yo no soy. Ok, está bien. Ok, ¿sí o no?
Those alligator tears will do well in alligator Alcatraz.
Sí tengo, pero yo no soy ese que está ahí. Yo no soy. No.
Se llama Dani.
Gracias. Dani.
Nada, no hay ningún problema. Nosotros tenemos
I know mis niños.
That's all we need to know is your name. That's it.
Listo.
Okay?
Ya,
We just needed to know your name and that's it, okay?
Give us some space, guys.
Okay? Thank you. Okay? Thank you.
Pero yo tengo que pongas.
Como se llama, right?
Stay out of the way, sir. Stay out of the way.
Thank you.
Counsel, I'm allowed
Pero
to
¿por
be
qué te
here.
pones
They have a right
así?
to an
Nosotros no
opinion.
hacemos nada. No te pongas
Press the
así.
elevator down for me, please.
No te pongas así. Tú no eres delincuente, nosotros no somos delincuentes. No te pongas así.
Okay? So it's okay.
Ya tenemos los niños aquí, no ha pasado nada. Que sea lo que Dios quiera, siempre lo he dicho. No somos delincuentes, no tenemos antecedentes, nada. Ellos no pueden culparnos de nada.
Que usted está bien.
Ya no ha pasado nada.
Thank you. No, it's okay. Thank you.
Pasa.
Thank you.
Go down.
¿Qué tienes que poner? Cuando no eres delincuente. Tienes que ponerte así. No te tienes que poner así.
Okay. Listen, I'm not a monster. That sucks. It sucks for the kids. I don't give a shit about the husband or the wife. No offense. I don't care at all. But the kids, that sucks. That's horrible. That's their daddy. They don't understand this. Then maybe you shouldn't have brought them, is my thought. Carrie says, is this the couple from Upper Michigan? The couple got caught speeding, driving with no driver's license, and their visa has expired. They were here for 15 years. I don't know. And I don't care. You know what I mean, Carrie? We either are a nation of laws or we're not. And here's the thing. If this big, beautiful bill didn't pass, do you know how many people were never going to pay taxes again? People are tired of this shit. Is entering the country illegal a criminal offense or a civil offense? It depends. It's a criminal offense and it's a misdemeanor unless there's a prior conviction or criminal record. So if you were deported once or removed from the country once and you come back in, it's a felony. And most of these people have been in and out multiple times. So, but as far as a civil matter, well, that depends. If you have a visa or if you have green card or you have a work permit, whatever it would be, it depends. If it's an expired visa or whatever, that's a federal matter. But if it is a some sort of clerical error or an expired whatever, and they go in to take care of it, that would be under a civil court, but not for Visa. Visa is federal. So it depends on the issuing authority, honestly, whether it would be a criminal or civil. But if someone's been here for 15 years on an expired visa, that is most assuredly criminal. Melanie says civil first time if deported. It's not civil if it's a misdemeanor. That's criminal. Just because it's not a felony doesn't mean it's not criminal. And just because it's a misdemeanor doesn't mean it's civil. Civil court. That's no. Karen, exactly. Kids are separated at the time when parents have to go to jail. Right. That's totally true. But first time you hop across the border, it's a misdemeanor. It's still against the law. It doesn't matter. It's not a jaywalking. I mean, like, there's a lot of things that are misdemeanors. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor is a misdemeanor. But it can also be upgraded to a felony. It doesn't matter. You broke the law. You came into this country illegally. You circumvented the system. You knew the rules. You decided to break them. You decided not to show up. And now we get to secure the border and we get a shit ton of money for funding and we stop this crap. And yes, it's heartbreaking, but you know what? We didn't cause the problem. We're solving it. AOC. AOC. Oh boy. I've got so much to show you tonight. I need to put this commercial on, folks. We're already at 363.34, but we're trying to overdrive. Quick commercial. We'll be right back. We're going to go in overtime tonight, so watch this.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so freaking... I can't do it. I can't untighten it.
That's what she said.
That's what she's... Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it. Pound.
Child gets 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
Totally tubular.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old? Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you at everything.
He's better at
Hayden, he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Hey Matt, congratulations on your success, brother, and I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free.
Sorry about that. For the first time, I actually participated in the pee break. Can Congress or our president do anything to prevent future politicians from opening our borders back up? No. not without legislation. You can put all the executive orders in you want, but until there's a law that's changed, that's why a lot of this stuff that was in this big, beautiful bill had to be turned into law. And some things are turned into law. And it's going to require 2/3 vote to get a lot of this overturned. So something to think about. But anyway, AOC, I just want to give you a little flashback on AOC about the talk of January 6th to show you the hypocrisy. And then for 2 nights, I've been trying to show you the Laura Logan video. I'm going to try to get to that because it's really important. Here's this.
I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought I was.
That's a long penis.
And that you now understand, having thought about it, is because of your experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Democrats, they never let a good opportunity go to waste. But this is her today, doing what she always does. Lying, exaggerating, making mountains out of molehills, or making daiquiris out of Tom Collins mix. Here is AOC.
I think this is one of the saddest days in modern American history. This is the largest withdrawal and ending of health care in American history. 17 million people in our country, 17 million Americans in our country are going to lose their Medicaid. They're going to lose their ACA insurance. Small business owners are going to have their health care costs skyrocket. And people are going to have their SNAP and WIC cut back. People are going to go hungry. People are going to get sick on a scale unlike anything we've ever seen. And all of it is just to finance tax cuts for billionaires and the wealthiest corporations who don't even need it. I don't think I've ever seen, I don't think we have ever seen or are prepared for how catastrophic this is set to be for a lot of people. And I think it's devastating. And they're talking about this as though it's some tax cut. Even the stuff that they're talking about, taxes on tips, no tax on tips, that's only for people, that's only up to $25,000. And if you're making less than that, you're already kind of exempt from a lot of these things in the first place. So they're giving people crumbs and they're taking away the whole loaf. And it's just a genuinely really sad day for our country.
What about Leader Jeffrey's final message, looking ahead to 2026, 2028?
Well, to Leader Jeffries' message, he's right. The best thing that we can do right now is press on.
Oh, my God. It's like she's so hot if she just wouldn't talk. Like, I know she's put on a few pounds. I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. It's more reason to get to work. She's going to make a man very unhappy one day. I just, for someone so pretty, she's such a freaking bonehead. Everyone's like, she's not pretty. She's ugly because of her personality. Oh, okay. Whatever. You're a woman. If you're a guy, you know what I'm talking about. Maria Bonner, $100. Maria, thank you. I don't know why you guys are being so nice tonight, but thank you. It means a great deal. It's tough sometimes. This is the easiest donation I've ever had. I love these nights. I hate it when it's hard. Donations. So I've wanted to put this on for the last few nights. First, let me show you Putin. And for the people on the podcast, I'm going to interpret this so they can hear it. And I realize sometimes here's what it is. He says, please don't be angry.
Я понимаю, что
I understand that we
мы могли
could talk
бы
more,
и больше поговорить. Ну, так
but it's so awkward
неловко заставлять себя
to make Trump wait.
ждать там сейчас, обидеться еще.
He could get offended.
Спасибо вам большое, удачи.
Thank you very much. Good luck. So he's at this forum. I don't know what it is. I can't. My Russian is so fucking like Cyrillic. Basically, looks like Matrix code to me now. I don't even know what it says. It's it's some technical something or other. I don't know what it is. Let me find out what it is. See if my old past comes through for me. So he was near the Kremlin, and he was in a youth center and technology center for kids. So that's close. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Donald Trump called, and he's like, So because we've had an amazing donation night, and because I really like Lara Logan, like a lot. Oh, can I show you guys a Candace Owens batshit crazy clip first, and then we'll do Lara? I promise you we're doing Lara Logan tonight. I'm not missing this for a third night in a row because it means a lot to me. It's a beautiful interview, but I gotta show you crazy ass Candace Owens. I got to. I have to. So I've been telling you for a while that Candace Owens is completely knuckin' futz, right? Amy says, I took a semester of Russian. Yeah, it's so far from me, I don't even know. But I've been telling you for a while that Candace Owens is just cuckoo. Like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you know? And she likes to talk about Macron and his wife, who she says is a transgender. And I'm not here to say that that's true or false. All I'll tell you, I mean, she is fugly. She hit every branch of the ugly tree on the way down. And, you know, we saw Macron get manhandled by him, whatever. And Macron got bitch slapped. So, whatever. Yeah, that anti-Candace cash yet that the Jews are paying, I don't know, but my Jewish friends need to pay me money. Because according to Candace, there's a Jewish group paying small-time podcasters, I qualify, $5,000 to $10,000. I am totally willing to continue. Please just pay me my money. But if you think she isn't crazy, just listen to this. Supposedly, the premise is this, is that she was creating so much conflict for the Ukraine and Russian ceasefire that Macron, while he visited Trump, did it under the guise to tell Donald Trump to call Candace Owens and tell her to stop talking about his transgender wife. And if I've taught you anything in 4 years, it's how to watch people and their pantomimes when they're lying. And I can't even begin to tell you that if this woman was playing poker, that everybody in the world championship would have been all in on the river. No, on 5th Street. 3rd Street, sorry. On the turn. Before the flop. Off the big blind. Her tells are so freaking bad. Enjoy this. Then we'll play Lara Logan. I'm telling you, if you, after watching this, are like, I don't know. I'm still kind of a Candace fan. No, you are not. Here we go.
And I get another message that's like, hey, keep your phone on. And anyways, this phone call is coming from Florida. Pick up the phone, and lo and behold, so here's what happened. I'm negotiating this thing. I'm negotiating Ukraine and Russia, and you wouldn't believe how many parts are part. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me, and in true President Trump fashion, he jumps right into the narrative. We're not, hey, how you doing? He just jumps right into the narrative of exactly how this went down. I am literally, it is hard to catch my breath to comprehend that 4 days ago, I'm ending a series about Brigitte Macron, and now I'm speaking to the President of the United States, and the topic of conversation, no matter which way you want to slice it, is about Macron's wife's penis. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Anyways, I have Macron. I like Macron. We're speaking at the White House, and I'm walking him to his car, and he says to me, Mr. President, can I speak to you for a second? I say, of course you can speak to me about anything. What's going on? And Macron wants to have a little sidebar. And then Macron says to him, Mr. President, do you know Candace Owens? And I say, yes, of course I know Candace Owens. What's going on? And then he continues his narrative, and he tells me that Emmanuel Macron is requesting to his face that I stop speaking about his wife. And one of the things Trump said is he tells me, she's old, and this is really, really impacting her. And then he said, I saw her, Candace, I saw her up close, and she looks like a woman to me. She looks like a woman to me. I had dinner with her at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And I explained to him that she has had this amazing doctor who specializes in transgenderism surgeries or feminization procedures. I'm talking to the President of the United States about this, guys. This is crazy. This is wacky. And I said to Trump, and I will be honest, that at that moment I realized that one day this is going to go into my autobiography. And so I got to say something funny. And I said to him, respectfully, Mr. President, it's not my fault that he married someone with a penis. He then tells me, we're really close to getting this thing done. And he throws in the art of the deal type stuff. He starts complimenting me. He said, Melania loves you. She says, you're so beautiful. She thinks you're so beautiful. I said, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Compliments will get you everywhere in life is my mentality here. And then I say to him, what I've agreed to already in the back of my head, I say, look, I'm happy to do this for the short. Obviously, I don't want to have on my conscience that less Christian men could have died in the East if I just shut up about something. But I'm very clear to him that this is going to be short term, and that I fully expect that in a few months I will be able to speak about this. He was about to commit to that, but then it felt to me like someone in the background was like, no, we need this conversation to stop altogether. And then he doesn't say no or yes, but he just says, that he really needs to work with Macron long term, and they have this long working relationship. And I was very clear, this is not long term for me. Like, if you're close to this deal, ink it, let's get it done. And then he sort of offers at the end, he says, hey, maybe I can come on your podcast one day. I'm great for ratings. You're so Trumpian to give yourself a compliment. So I give him the Trump right back. And I say respectfully, Mr. President, I'm apparently good for ratings too, because you've got a leader of a country, the president of the country, asking you to ask me to do a favor. So.
Oh my God. You guys wanted her as your VP. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of you that said you wanted her as the VP. There's another one that's even worse. And the story completely, they don't jive. That she got a call from one of his aides and that he was listening in the background. The chick has lost her ever-loving mind. Hold on. She was on Piers Morgan as well. And she basically said that she's okay with regime change for the Jews. She's wacko, man. The chick is completely wacko. Here it is.
I'm aligned.
Okay, but are you saying that America should never use any military action then?
No, I'm not saying America can never use any military action. In fact, what I said earlier was I could get behind a regime change in Israel because I'm aligned.
She's nuts, dude. I don't know, man. I've been saying it for a while. She's just lost the plot. And I don't know how to say it any other way. You know, and listen, this lady is monumentally more successful than I ever will be. She's incredible at this job. She has flash. She's beautiful. She's intelligent, no matter how crazy she is. But you know, whatever it takes to get the ratings, right? I mean, that's what it is. I mean, all I have to do is start hating on Jews, and my ratings will go through the roof. I'll get deplatformed on a couple of channels, but that's all it takes now. And the grift is real, man. And people are like, well, wait, you said to that other guy that there is no grift, that you're not grifting. Yeah, because I'm not lying to my people. I'm not doing something nefarious to con you into something that isn't true. You should see the other one she did. It's really bad. And I'm not going to show it to you, but you can look this up. And this happened the other day where she basically recanted a little bit of what she said here and then changed it up, and they don't jive. And I don't care. If you don't think that she's just completely off of her rocker, nothing's going to convince you at this point. She wants to have regime change in Israel. Yeah, okay. This woman she's not to be taken seriously. You know, at some point you just got to laugh at her. And it's like the Mondani guy in New York. You know, he's eating rice with his hands. What the fuck is up with that? The guy's white bread. He has an Ivy League professor for a father. Mother is a famous director. And the only reason he's eating rice with his hands, Charlie Kirk said this too, something I had already thought of, but he's eating rice with his hands is to look like he's poor and to look like he's from a third world country. To relate, this shit is so contrived and so boring. There's no reason for you to eat rice with your fingers when you're college educated. This is ridiculous. Here's the video. Like I said, Charlie Kirk talked about this. So I always try to give credit when I have an idea that's not mine. But Charlie Kirk and I are simpatico on this. We're absolutely in lockstep because I was literally doing a video on it.
You have socialism, you have Islam, and then you have Palestine. And you are really going for the trifecta. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Tell me, why is Palestine a part of your politics?
When you grow up as someone, especially in the third world, you have a very different understanding of the Palestinian struggle.
So he's not even eating with his hands correctly.
No, he's not.
People that have grown up in the third world, they say he's not even doing it right.
That's correct.
He's just faking it.
That's right.
He's doing this to signal his third world cred. So think about it. To get credibility in the New York mayor's race, you have to pretend to be in the third world. Now understand that in the modern world, authenticity is considered to be the most important thing ever. But should it be? Now, authenticity, if you're pointing towards something good and virtuous, is beautiful. You're authentically trying to be the best version of yourself, to be honest. If you're pointing towards a moral and transcendent ideal. But Zoran Mamdani is not authentically trying to point New York or aim towards a better city. He's trying to bring New York into the gutter.
That's
and
right.
Authenticity without virtue is just narcissism in disguise.
Well said, Charlie Kirk. And it's always important for me to give you as much runway as I can when I borrow from other people. But it's not like this is a wild, way out in left field Charlie Kirk observation. I mean, this is plain as day. Anyone who has been to Seoul, anyone who has been to Vietnam, Japan, China, Tibet, India, Pakistan, I'm in all of them, is you will see people eating this way. You see this in Malaysia. You see this in Sumatra. And you don't pick with your hands. You scoop. And he's doing this monkey paw type thing. You pinch and then you scoop. And you put it in your mouth, and this is what you do. But this thing where he's uncomfortable. The guy's full of shit. And dude, it's like, okay, like the only time that you shouldn't use a fork and a knife in the United States is when you're eating pizza, sushi, and at medieval times. Otherwise, you're just a fucking nutter. Some crazy effer looked at me while I'm in the garage watching the dumb show, looked very sketchy as an illegal guy. Remember Minnesota full of them. Hey, you should have told him to come on the show. Would have loved to talk to him. We're going to watch this. This is 17 minutes long, but it's worth it. This is James O'Keefe. And some of you don't like James O'Keefe. And honestly, I don't dislike James O'Keefe. I just think this is the most human I've seen James O'Keefe. And honestly, if he did stuff like this all the time, I would watch it all the time. It's very well done. He does a very good interview with Laura. And I was impressed with his compassion and handling of her. And it was very good. So I got to give O'Keefe credit. I know I was hard on him when Damani was with him. I thought he was just puffing himself up. But James O'Keefe isn't a bad man. I'm critical of people, and I'm sure James O'Keefe would say, "Who the fuck are you?" And that's okay. He can say that. But I really loved how he treated Laura. I think Laura Logan is probably, in my opinion, I disagreed with her before. I don't think everything she says is perfect. You know, I disagree with her with the Baltimore Bridge thing, and she says she was right. Whatever. She can come on the show and we can debate that. But I think she's beautiful. And it's not just outward beauty, which, let's face it, she's incredibly beautiful. But it's the internal. And it's her the way she treats people. I admire it because I'm not very good at it. I'm a bumbling mess. I treat people the best that I can, but I'm not really good at being compassionate and understanding. And maybe in an interview setting I can be, but most of the time I'm just not that guy. But I've had a lot of people on, and I do care about what they say, and I try to let them finish. But I can be better. But maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. But the point is that she always is kind to people, and she's, even when they're rude to her, she's always kind. So I want you to listen to this interview. It's extremely heartfelt, and I think you'll enjoy it. Listen.
Hell on earth. I mean, it is hell on earth. And now when you think, I stood in an Ebola camp listening to a woman scream when they took her baby from her because she was in the unconfirmed ward and her baby had been confirmed to have Ebola. And they had to come and tell her her husband was dead from Ebola because he was in the confirmed ward as well. And boy, I mean, it almost tore my heart out listening to those screams, hearing her pain, thinking about what it would be like as a mother. I just couldn't bear it. Ebola treatment center is hell on earth. I mean, it is hell on earth. And now when you think about it, you know, all these, you believe that it comes from the monkeys, and then you find out, like I just found out that HIV, monkeys can't even get HIV. They told us HIV came from the monkeys. They said Ebola came from monkeys. Maybe it didn't. Maybe somebody created it. I don't know. But all I can tell you is that I feel that pain. I've never had PTSD.
No PTSD.
Mm-mm.
Not from what you went through in Egypt.
No.
And when you were crawling, remind me briefly the story. You were crawling back. Were you unconscious? Your clothes were ripped.
Oh, I had no clothes.
How did you manage
They tore
to?
everything off me.
They tore everything off you.
Mm.
And how did you get from point A to point B at that moment?
I had, it started when my cameraman's battery went down, and he went down on the ground. Richard Butler, wonderful cameraman, producer, writer, just extraordinary man. And he went to change the light, and that's when they started saying things in Arabic, you know, let's take her pants off, whipping up the crowd. But of course I didn't know until we had a young Egyptian translator, and he turned to me and he was just white. I stood in an Ebola camp listening to a woman scream when they took her baby from her because she was in the unconfirmed ward and her baby had been confirmed to have Ebola. And they had to come and tell her her husband was dead from Ebola because he was in the confirmed ward as well. And boy, I mean, it almost tore my heart out listening to those screams, hearing her pain, thinking about what it would be like as a mother. I just couldn't bear it. Ebola treatment center is hell on earth. I mean, it is hell on earth. And now when you think about it, you know, all these, You believe that it comes from the monkeys, and then you find out, like I just found out that HIV, monkeys can't even get HIV. They told us HIV came from the monkeys. They said Ebola came from monkeys. Maybe it didn't. Maybe somebody created it. I don't know. But all I can tell you is that I feel that pain. I've never had PTSD.
No PTSD. Not from what you went through in Egypt.
No.
And when you were crawling, remind me
Why did this restart?
Raping me, sodomizing, separated from the young
Apologize.
Egyptian translator. And he turned to me and he was just
Sorry,
white.
I don't know why it restarted.
And he was like, we have to get out of here. He said, run, run. And I started running with him, but he and I got ahead. And there were men in the crowd who we thought were trying to help us. And they were not. They were saying, stop, 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 slow down. And I didn't really know why. And that was the point at which our security guy, Ray, caught up with us. And he said, Laura, hold on to me. And I remember I grabbed the collar of his shirt. He had a light blue button down. And I held on to that. And I don't really know how we got separated from everybody else, but we were. And that was when, they started grabbing at my body, and it just got more and more violent, and then tearing off my clothes and all of that. And then raping me, sodomizing me, beating me.
you were conscious for this.
Oh, yeah, every single thing.
Yeah,
I felt when my bra.
I'm aware that it was
At that
repeating.
point, I remember feeling the air on my chest. I could, and I felt when I had my husband had given me pearls.
I fixed it. If it repeats again, I don't know why it started, but it's okay. I think we're caught up.
And I felt my necklace tear when they broke that. He had gone to the souk in Qatar on one of his work trips, and he had gone and chosen the pearls and made that. I remember when that broke. But that's nothing compared to this.
Okay, so for you who don't know, she was a reporter, I believe NBC, and she was in Egypt, and she was raped by a gang of Muslim men, and it was a lot. I think it was 20 plus. So she was a reporter. But this is absolutely horrible. I'm sorry for the repeat. I had a message about something that was breaking, and it took my attention away, and I heard it repeat. I apologize. So hopefully we're caught up now, and I'll watch it from here on.
Savagery of being raped. Nothing. So I spent, a good part of the time fighting this. I don't know why. It didn't.
You said you did fight it?
Oh yeah, I was fighting away, trying to, stop them, but I kept going down, and Ray kept screaming at me, "Get on your feet, Laura. Stay on your feet."
Who?
Ray, our security guy. So I was still holding on to him
While they were doing this to you?
Yeah, and they had flagpoles.
What were they doing to him?
They were just trying to tear him off me. They just wanted me.
They weren't
didn't care about
beating him up.
Well, yeah, they were beating him too. But as soon as they tore him off me, because at a certain point I couldn't hold on to him anymore, then they discarded him. In fact, I think that's what saved my life, because Ray he fought his way through the mob and got to the Egyptian military, to the soldiers. And so by the time I went down for the last time, and I had no strength left, I could hardly breathe. It's very, very hot. Like you lose all the oxygen in the air because there's so many people. And I had no strength left at that point. I mean, I had tried to bite someone, and I had scratched people.
Were you screaming?
Not then, because at that point I couldn't breathe. So there was no air to scream.
Were your eyes open?
Oh, yeah. I watched them taking pictures and videos, filming it.
There's videos of this.
Yeah, you can. I have photographs of them on my phone. You can
of this happening to you, because I watched the 60 Minutes interview with you about
later.
it
Yeah.
later.
They didn't use the pictures.
And how long ago? When was that compared to the incident?
I can't
year?
remember if it was no. It was a few weeks, maybe a month.
But go to the moment when you were crawling or
yes,
you were
that was
escaping.
when that's when I went down and I'm being dragged. That's what you're thinking of. They're dragging me because they're fighting for you. These men are fighting. They all want a piece of your body. They're trying to tear my scalp off my head. They're trying to tear out my limbs, trying to strip your skin off. I had blood marks. You could see their fingernails in blood marks across my chest. They try to tear my breast off my chest. So it's savage, right? And it's chaotic. It's totally chaotic. But then at that point, when I went down and people are dragging you, and then I was dragged into a part of the square where there were Egyptian women and children. And then the men, their sons and, their relatives jumped up to protect them. And that they formed a kind of buffer between me and the mob. And the mob backed off, not from me. They backed off from the women and children, their own, And so that at that point, I think I still have my boots on, and I have fragments of my clothing, and they're screaming, and I'm like my husband described it. He said, you were like a wild animal. Like I called him, and eventually when I got out, and I thought I was coherent, and he had no idea what I was saying. He said it was just screeching. So I'm there.
Gibberish.
Screeching, he said.
Screeching.
Not
you
even
were
words.
talking to your husband. This is moments or minutes after this happened.
This, yes. At this point, I'm dragged into the lap of this Egyptian woman. She had the black abaya, and she's, trying to help me breathe because I can't breathe. And someone's pouring water on me, and nobody really wanted to touch me because I was naked. And then people are throwing pieces of clothing at me to try to, I guess, help me cover up. I don't know. And when I start to realize that I can breathe, it's hard, but I'm getting air again. Then it dawns on me, oh my God, like maybe I'm not going to die. And I'm looking at the mob, and the fear that I felt it's a terror that I just can't describe to you, because once you've resigned yourself to your death, the hope will crush you. And I was so close, and I just knew they could just drag me right back. I couldn't go back. I just didn't want to go.
So in that moment, you started to feel a little hope.
Yes.
And then you started to be afraid of being dragged back.
Yes, because the hope is just devastating.
Hope is devastating at that point.
Yes. And so then I saw a soldier, and I'm really screaming for help at that point, but they didn't want to touch me because I was naked. So they started to turn around, and that was a terrible feeling. It's just terrible to see them walk away and think, is this it now? Now they're going to do it to me again. I didn't want them to do it to me again. But actually, they went and got an abaya, and they came back. I think Ray made them come back. And then they covered me, and then they carried me.
They just picked you up and carried you out, like on a
They
stretcher.
were beating back the mob. I mean,
how many of them were beating them back? Were there a couple? Few? Lots of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I saw lots of soldiers beating them with batons. I mean, they didn't want to let go of me. And then when we got to the side of the square, we had an Egyptian driver, and he had been with us the week before when we were arrested. And that night that I spent in prison, I was very sick, and I was very dehydrated, and they stabbed me with a drip and threw me in an office. But this gentleman, I won't say his name just to protect him, but they beat him very badly in detention that night. And he came back. When we came back a week later, he came to work for us again. And I said to
Tommy,
him,
it is.
They could kill you this time. Are you sure you want to do this? And he said, it's the greatest honor of my life to do this with you. Never forget that. He said that. It was when I landed at the airport that night. And
Why do you think he said that?
Because he was fighting for his country, and he was fighting for, all the same things that we fight for and believe in. And so when I got to the edge of the square, he was there, and he took me in his arms from the soldiers, and they took us on this little alleyway off the square. And we were then trying to get, that's where my team was, Max McClellan and Jeff Newton and Richard Butler, and great people. I'm the greatest journalist I know, and the best people I know.
And how long did it take you to recover from that? All that you had to, your body and the healing physically?
Well, I went straight to hospital on arrival in the U.S. And that was hard, to be honest, because I just wanted to be with my babies. I didn't care about
How old were
anything.
your kids at that point?
My daughter was 10 months old, and my son was a year.
Did your kids know what happened to you? Now they're teenagers, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So do they know about what happened to you? Are they capable of understanding this yet?
Oh, yeah, more than capable. Yeah, I mean, they're teenagers, you know, so they're ruthless.
Right.
But they love their mother. They're proud of me. I'm proud of them.
So you got back to the United States, and you said it was hard. Which part of it when you got back here?
Just not being able to be with
not
them.
being with the kid.
I was like, you know, I was like a homing pigeon at that
Yeah.
point. I didn't care. I mean, once you've survived that, what do you think injuries are to you? They're nothing.
Yeah, that's what
They're
you
nothing.
strike me as someone who you've been through beyond hell. So
No, my
Please.
only my thing is, this is James, what I can tell you, when it first happened and I was fighting the sexual violence, I realized when I lost Ray and I felt all the strength leave my body that I was dying and I had to start fighting for my life. And then I realized, wow, like this, nothing I can do. I'm going to die here, and it's going to be a filthy.
you realize that already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I felt just this rush of guilt. I thought about my children, and I made a decision. I said to myself, I said, I'm going to die fighting. My children are going to be told. They're going to find the skin under my nails, and they're going to be told your mother fought to her last breath.
That's what was going through your mind.
So when I got home, I just wanted my.
Understandable. And when did you see them after you got home?
I don't remember how long it was, but not more than a week. And then I went home. I think I have a picture of one of them, of me holding Lola in the hospital. I can't remember exactly, but I know I missed her first step. So then I was like a crazy person in the hospital. I said to my husband, like, get me out of here. I'm going to hack you to death. You know, and then the thing is, a lot of the injuries, James, come over time when you have that kind of internal abuse. And so I struggled for many years after that with pain.
Did you have to have surgeries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had many surgeries.
Mhm.
And partly because they were trying to figure out exactly what it was. I had a hysterectomy, and that didn't heal, and all my organs came out of my body and adhered together, so they had to be surgically removed in emergency surgery and then surgically separated. And yeah, but by that time, Benghazi had happened and no one cared anymore.
I remember watching you from a distance. I was 26 years old, and I remember seeing that happen, and then seeing, didn't like Obama and Hillary
Oh, yeah,
say,
Obama
"Oh, this
called
is
me."
so horrible"? He called you.
No, I have a letter from Hillary. In fact, my husband said
Letter?
to me
A
the other
letter?
day, should we have it framed?
You should definitely have it.
I have a letter from General
What-
Petraeus,
What was
David
interesting?
Remnick, the editor
What
of
did
the New
Obama
Yorker.
say on the phone?
Well, it's funny because I didn't want to take any calls. And one of my very best friends in the whole world for us, Ibrahim al-Samurai, he's Iraqi. He just got on a plane. He didn't even call. He just showed up at the door. And my sister and my brother flew from South Africa. And I was in my closet. And my husband came up the stairs and he's like, "It's the phone for you." And I was so annoyed because I didn't want to talk to anyone. And he said, "White House."
Whoa.
And handed me the phone, and it was Barack Obama. Yeah.
What did he say?
"I'm so sorry about what happened to you.
Hmm.
You know, and we've been thinking of you and praying for you, and, you know, such a terrible thing. And you're such a great journalist and do such amazing work. And with Michelle and I are thinking of you and all that."
And that letter from Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
You should frame that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then, I mean, it would
As
take
a monument to evil.
It was what did the letter say? Was there anything memorable of it? I was just standard.
You know,
apologies.
I actually have this big box of letters because I had thousands and thousands of people write to me, and many of them were men who'd been raped and sexually abused in their lives and had never talked about it. And and all the letters are in there, and I actually thought I should read those again. I don't remember exactly what it said, but you know, there was, I mean, General Petraeus wrote to me as well. At that time, they all liked me.
Until they didn't.
Until they didn't.
But the one thing I'll say about that is it strikes me as, you know, like a soldier doesn't talk about his battle. But when I met you in Mamaroneck in 2021, I was struck by how open and willing you were to talk about this. Which, is that true of many survivors of this sort of thing?
No, I mean, a lot of people struggle to talk about it, but I think more and more survivors are talking about it. And I learned from a South African woman who was raped by two horrible men who on a Sunday night took her out in the middle of nowhere. And after they raped her, they gutted her. And then they talked about, well, could she survive? And just in case, they slit her throat and tossed her out of the car. And this woman, Alison Burta, I'll never forget because I was a young reporter at the time. She felt around in the dark for her insides, and then she found her denim shirt, and she held her entrails to her body with her shirt, and she started to crawl. And she said she couldn't understand why she was moving forward, but the world was upside down until she realized her head was behind her. And so she crawled forever, holding her head and holding her insides. And she eventually got to the road, and she had to lie down on the road because she had no strength left. And the first car went around her, and the second car was a young veterinarian who saved her life and ended up marrying her. And Alison, at her trial, the judge asked her, how can you be so strong? Because she gave them a description, detailed, on her way into emergency surgery that night. And she said in that courtroom, they took so much from me that night. Why would I give them the rest of my life as well? And so that was those words that I never forgot them. And she wrote a book about that. It's a very short book if anyone wants to read it, but I never forgot that. And so it was like that for me. It's like they took so much from me. Why would I give them the rest of my life? I'm not going to give them any more than I have to.
What is your price?
Listen, I got to give, first of all, I don't need to say it with Lara Logan, as somebody who went through 2 very traumatic experiences as a child, and I've shared that on this show. I have to disconnect and not listen. I watched it in its entirety 2 times over the last few days, but I have to disconnect a little bit. So that's why I didn't hear the recycle on the beginning, but she's an amazing human being. And I've seen her and Jason Shepard from Wimkin, their relationship as friends just grow. And she's just a good human being. And for her to come onto the show like she did, and, I'd love to have her on sometime and sit down and discuss things with her and just have a conversation like that. But I don't think I could talk about the rape with her. I just don't, I don't know. I got to give him credit. I mean, some of the questions he asked were very bold, and I would not have the gumption or the wherewithal to just ask those questions. Some of those questions, I don't know, but it's amazing how strong she is and how powerful she is. And I got to give O'Keefe credit. It was an excellent interview, and it definitely helps. If you want to see more from Lara Logan, you can follow her on Wimkin, and she is a very, very strong partner of the Wimkin channel. You can also find her on Fox News and Fox Nation, actually. She's got a show, Lara Logan Has No Agenda. You can go and see it. And then she has something on YouTube as well, which is The Anchorman Show, featuring Lara Logan. They just did an update a few days ago, and she updates that, and it's really goes after fake news. So she does a great job, and she's worth it. And we hope to have her back on the show sometime. We only had a short period of time with her. But she is just a fantastic human being, and it really has gotten a pretty shitty shake with the left, as they always ostracize anyone that speaks out against them. Folks, appreciate you. Yeah, for every bold question, there was a bold answer. She has no fear. And I promise you, O'Keefe more than likely said, hey, here's what I'm going to ask, what's off limits? And I did the same thing with Tonto. And it was just full steam ahead, let's go. I'm getting asked, are we going to be on tomorrow? Yes. Yes, I will come on tomorrow. It's 4th of July. May come on for an hour, may come on for 2. It depends how early it is. It depends what the news cycle is. If the news cycle sucks, then maybe not. If the news cycle is good, then yeah. How about this? How about you just let me tell you tomorrow, and I'll let you know. But yeah, I anticipate we'll be on, and we've got to continue to drive the show and continue to get better. So here's the question, and I wanted to throw it out there. We had a lot of feedback when the show was designed and the set. I want to make sure you guys are liking it. You like the cameras, you like the audio, you like the way it is. We want to change a couple things and have a 2-seater experience where we just have 2 chairs, just like Laura Logan did and O'Keefe had right there, where we can have a one-on-one interview with somebody. And that's something we're going to put into this room. Just want to see how it's going. You guys like the set? You like the arrangement? You like the camera cuts? Is everything flowing? We also, if there's anything else that you guys want to see, if you want to see more videos or more of me or more of Amy or more of Leroy or more of Olivia, we're going to continue the guests. We had a week off from the guests because it's July 4th week. We pick it right back up next week with Ryan Weaver, and then we have a very, very prominent bondsman and lawyer in Texas who knows a lot about immigration, and he's going to be coming on as well. So we're going to continue that and continue to still try to book people. We want to get Justin Barclay on. We want to try to get Eric Erickson on, and we want to continue to grow and get people to come on. And we're going to actually try. I saw it, Amy. I'm missing the Ducks flag. Yeah, it's in the litter box. Yenny loves it. But we just want your opinion, and we're doing the short videos again. I'm going to try to find some more time to do some writing and stuff, but I just want to see what your thoughts are. There's been a conversation with TS and I of doing a long form show, but also I know Damani and I are going to meet up and do our collaboration together and post on each other's pages. So there's more content there. So it's really, I'm just trying to get ideas from you. You can email me. You can Matt at the Dumb Show or Olivia at the Dumb Show. You can also send me private message if you want to too. I mean, I like the way things are going. I like the interaction on the shows. The numbers are constant. Now, Facebook is still just completely in the shitter. And we expect that, but to see Twitter, it's doing well, and Rumble and Wimkin, and YouTube is what YouTube is. We don't ever expect to be growing on YouTube. They hate conservative channels. But we're happy where we're at. We're happy where we're growing. And how we're growing, and we just want to get some more information from you. So should be on tomorrow, unless the news cycle is just shit. And if the news cycle is shit, then we won't be. But I do want to say I appreciate the donations. The donations were absolutely massive tonight. If we decide not to come on tomorrow, that's going to help us through the week. But I would expect us to be on at least for a little bit. And if you guys will be on, then I'll be on. What I don't want to do is go on and have 20 people on. So I have a feeling that last July 4th was pretty good for us. So I'm thinking this one will be too. So congratulations on the big, beautiful bill. I think it's awesome. I think it's going to really release a lot of America's potential. I do believe there's risk involved. There's opportunity. But I think that Donald Trump has proven that we have to trust him. We've put him in place, and we voted for him, and we just rallied for his nomination, and it just bothers me. So many people have jumped ship and they don't seem to trust him anymore. And I'm just like, why did you fight so hard for him to get in, just to question every single thing he does? And I think it's great to question our leaders. We want to question Thomas Massey. We want to question Donald Trump. And I've done all those things. I had a guy on YouTube just now. He's like, hey, we question Trump just like this. Why are you questioning Massey? He's got the best, because I question everybody. And that's what we do to our leaders. That's the right that we have. Hey, Matt, what's up with Uncle Ted? You two would be an awesome show. He's not coming on. So it wasn't a negative thing. He just said no. I mean, his Lisa Nugent is his wife. She just said, thank you for the offer, but at this time we have to decline. So I'm not going to go into, she didn't give me a personal reason. They just said no. And honestly, this is the way I look at it. It's Ted fucking Nugent. This guy has been on every magazine and rock cover and hunting cover and Second Amendment. He's been on every show. He's done that. And he's probably just like, you know what? No, I don't want to go on the show. And that's cool. He doesn't have to. Good for him. I would love to have him on. I'd love to have him on. But, not everyone's going to say yes. Ryan Weaver's coming back. That's huge for me. I love Ryan. Tonto says he'll come back. That's good. We've got our good little network of people, and it's going to grow, but it's going to take time. But we are actively getting involved in trying to get people on, and people are reaching out to us. which is even better. So, if you have somebody that you like and you follow and they communicate with you, then ask them to come on the show. We're all about it. We want to give a lot of people. And here's the cool thing, guys. It doesn't have to be someone. Well, Justin has said he's going to come on like 5 times. Every time I say, let's do it. But we never do it. Justin shares my shit all the time and I share his stuff. I don't know. Justin, I gotta nail him down, I guess. So I told Olivia to reach out to him and like, let's go. But Justin, it doesn't make any sense. Yes, we're friends on Facebook. He shares my stuff all the time. He shared 2 things today. He shared my one of my memes and then shared my video on oh shit, I don't even know what it was about. But he shared it. So he shares my stuff all the time. So I don't know. And we talk. I've got his email. I've emailed him and we just never fully do it. So I would love Eric Erickson. I would love Justin to come on. And it's just a matter of getting people on. I'm working on Kevin Cork from Fox, who does the weekend shows. He was also a sports guy in Denver. And I've asked him to come on. It's just a matter of, finding the right people and having them say yes. So we could do a better job of reaching out to people, but it's not that easy. A lot of people have their PMs turned off. They don't share their email. They're not like me. I'm an open book. You want to reach out to me? Most people on here have my cell phone number. I just don't care. And I don't, my private life is I just don't answer the phone if I don't want to talk to you. Or if you send me an email and I don't want to speak to you, I just don't answer you. But most of the time, I'm really easy to get in contact with. So reach out, give them my info, Matt at The Dumb Show, Olivia at The Dumb Show. Yeah, Ted Nugent, he's Ted fucking Nugent. It's Ted, guys, here's my level of anticipation that Ted was going to come on. Here's my disappointment. I don't have that bug. I just don't have, when Roseanne couldn't come on, you know what I said to Jason? It's okay. It's not the right time. Roseanne, when she feels better and she has the ability, she'll come on. And if she doesn't, it's going to be okay, because there is plenty to talk about and there's plenty of things to say. And if we have a guest here, that's great. And if we don't, we'll get by. Olivia and Amy and Leroy do an amazing job. That's it. We've got a good team. So I'm cool with it. And you know what? One thing I was going to say is I would honestly rather talk to y'all. I would rather get some of you guys on here who have stories to share. And Mel is a staple on this show. Frank comes on all the time. Kevin comes on. So I would like to see somebody come on who's watched the show for a while and get your opinions, and have one of you come on, because that's really what it's about. It's like, I would love to start polling people from my town here and bringing them into the show. And there's plenty of really interesting people that you guys, I want to get Mike, man, my next door neighbor. He's amazing. Ollie North, we're still working on him. John Fugue is a person I want to get. I want to get Tammy on from Tammy's Diner. I think there's a lot of people that would be awesome. Matt, do you know Chad Wright of the 3 of 7 project? He was a SEAL. I don't know him. I know of him. Yeah. Anyway. Well, Mel is somebody who, we got to get video. We got to get a good connection and we got to get her on. But Mel's fantastic. Love Mel on. We just got to get her a connection, because it's hard sometimes when she calls because there's a delay. So we have to have her call into the show and get an invite and then set up a camera and get her a good connection and do it. There's people who should be on this show more than just a few minutes a show. Mel's one of them. I think T.S. Dixon, Damani Felder should be on this show more often. I want to try to convince Damani to come on once a week. Tammy would be an amazing guest. She's a very smart lady, and she is salt of the earth, but she has a way about her and an understanding. She's fantastic. So that's what I want to do. I want to try to get the police sheriff out here. I mean, we're just slowly building it. I'd love Tina Savage to come on. you know? Yeah, Tommy, you guys, if you know people, get them on. And it doesn't always... My overtime will actually give me money now instead of federal taxes. Good. Jeremy, that's good. I think the bill is going to do a lot of good for people. This fear mongering is what they said in 2017. That's what they said in 2019. That's what they said when he took... They're lying to you. Republicans have to get elected, folks. They're not going to go ahead and cut their own throat. There's going to be some hardships. There's going to be some pain points. There's no doubt about it. But as Obamacare impacted 17 to 20 million people, some of these cuts will impact 17 to 20 million people. And why do you think I locked into my insurance? I want to make sure that I get a good price. All right. I'm going to go. I don't think there's any more donations. Liv, are we in the green? Yeah, I think we're good on donations. I think I've thanked everybody. I know Tina would be a great addition. I think having Bobby on would be awesome. Vicky, I loved having you on the other night. Yeah, I would love some of your friends with Trump derangement syndrome to come on. Yes. Like, I would love that. I would love to have a good conversation like Nick and I had. You know, I miss those days that we would have people who would call in and challenge, but people are scared. They're intimidated. And I'm not that intimidating. I'm just, let's have a conversation. Are we good? Yeah, we're good on donations. All right. Ethan did donations tonight. He did a great job. Give Ethan a round of applause. Great job, E. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you. I hope you guys had a good show, a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. And if you need anything, just give me a holler. And we'll have a show tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? All right, everybody. Happy 4th of July. We will talk tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.